Right, Kala, Yahawashi, Bashumakakudash, Shalom, Wahabla, Shadabada. It's a Sean by Yahweh to come to you with another quick video. So basically, I got this video here sent to me by one of the sisters in the camp. Yeah, we do have women in the camp. They don't come to the highways and the byways, but we have sisters in the body. Okay. So she sent this video. She was basically at work and she seen a chariot over the moon. Alright? And that chariot is very significant. For those of you that are familiar with the precepts, you know that the Heavenly Father disguises his chariots as clouds. Okay? And that's in Psalms. We're going to get to that in a minute. Because what you got to realize is there's waters above and waters below. Yeah? And the waters above, basically, the chariots, when it reacts with the waters above, it can create this kind of cloud around it. You know, I think it's steam, or should I say steam? Yeah, it steams, because basically the chariot is made of fire. So it's got this technology. I shouldn't really say technology, but it's got this spiritual knowledge that it can just cause like a cloud to form. You know, when it steams from all the heat that is emitting, it can cause a cloud to just cover around it, so it just looks like a cloud. But in this case, it was very significant. Okay, so I'm gonna play the video, and then after we're gonna get some scriptures. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. So as you can see, the chariot over there and the moon's over there. That's a waning moon, by the way, for those of you that were paying attention. And there's two chariots to the right over there. If you can see, there's two chariots to the right over there. So you've got the moon over there, which is a waning moon. And for those of you that were paying attention, okay, when the moon is halfway and it's full to the left, but when it's halfway and it's full to the left, it means it's 21 days into the month. Okay, when it's halfway and it's full to the right, it means it's 7 days into the month. I've already done classes on that before the old channel got removed, because Amalek knows that your salvation is going to have something to do with timekeeping. That's why he removed the channel. Really, Satan is working with Amalek. That's why the channels are gone. So those that got to see the videos and got edified, you should count yourselves very fortunate. Because the fact that the chariot is there on top of the moon is significant, because the moon symbolizes time. That's why it looks like a clock. And the chariot symbolizes salvation. Okay? That's why Yahawashi said, look up, for your salvation draweth nigh. Actually, I've got that here. Let me read that quickly. Luke chapter 21, verse 28. That's why Yahawashi said this to the Israelites. It says, and when these things begin to come to pass, that's the prophecies, yeah? As you've seen, coronavirus is a major prophecy. Then look up and lift up your heads. Why? Because of this. Because the only way you can see the moon is by looking up. You don't see the moon by looking down. And the moon signifies time. That's why he said pray and keep watch. Keep watch of what? Time. This is how you measure time. That's why the Lord showed you how the moon operates, for those that were paying attention. And also when you look up as well, you're going to see what? The chariots, which look like clouds. Okay, every time you read the Bible, The Most High refers to the chariot as a cloud, a pillar of fire by night and a pillar of cloud by day. Because like I told you, there's an ocean up there. So in the daytime, okay, it has a cloaking mechanism which makes it look like a cloud. And it's funny because the moon looks just like this chariot. So that shows you that the moon is also made up of clouds. Or should I say water? Yeah. Because the Heavenly Father made two great lights. He made the moon, which is made from water, and he made the sun, which is made of fire. Two elements. Now, back to the precept. So Luke chapter 21 verse 28, it says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. See that? Lift up your heads, because you're going to see the chariots come. Alright, the chariots are going to come, and they're going to deliver the Most High's elect. And the fact that the Most High showed the chariot to a sister is very significant, because a lot of times people forget that Yahawashi had women disciples as well. There were women that believed in Yahawashi, and they're back here today. Okay? A lot of times, brothers want to count the women out because of personal grievances. But you should actually exhort them, because it's a good thing that the sister shared this video, because brothers need that uplifting, you know. And the Lord uses women for various things in the ministry, whether it be to be helpers, exhortation, you know, whatever he wants to do with these women, everything is for his pleasure. So let's go to Romans quickly. Get that Romans. Right, so Romans 9 and... No, is it Romans? It's Acts actually. What am I talking about? I think it's Acts 9 and 36, yeah? Right. So Acts 9 and 36, right here. It says, now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha. See, she was a disciple. Disciple just means what? Discipline. Or the word disciple comes from the word discipline. To be a disciple of Yahawashi, you need to be disciplined. Let everything be done in decency and in order. That's why a lot of you say you want to be a disciple, but you can't stay for long because you're not disciplined. So she was a disciplined follower of Yahawashi. That's technically what disciple means. Okay, and she was a woman, Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deed, which she did. So there's women in the ministry as well. Okay, they play their position. All right, they're gonna be delivered by what you see over here, which Esau calls UFO. All right, they're gonna be delivered, and the fact that she saw it and nobody else did is very significant, because you remember when Yahawashi first rose from the dead? Let's find out what happened. Okay, so this is Mark. Let me get that real quick. Okay, nice. So this is Mark 16 and 9. Okay, it says, now when Yahawashi was risen early the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene. You see that? He appeared first. So a lot of times brothers get upset because Eve is being a demon. So they just want to slut shame all the time. But they keep forgetting there's women that actually believed in Yahawashi, okay, and contribute to the ministry in different ways. They're going to receive their reward as well, regardless of whether you're upset about them being demons for whatever reason. There's women out there which are going to receive their prize as well from Yahawashi. Even though brothers don't like to talk about that. And most of these women will be with a quote unquote follower of Yahawashi. Okay? Because Yahawashi will find a way to bob and weave and make sure they end up with the right individual. But anyway, moving on. So what you see over here is a chariot which looks like a cloud. Now you can't get around it because it's disc shaped. And this is the same thing that Zechariah saw. Okay? Let me get Zechariah real quick. And this is what's going to deliver the children of Israel when the Heavenly Father has had enough of seeing these Edomite dogs run around. So Zephaniah, no, actually Zechariah. Let's get Zechariah real quick. Right. So let's get Zechariah 5:1. Flying roll, yeah? So Zechariah seen a chariot, but this is what he said about the chariot. So this is Zechariah chapter 5. Then I turned and lifted up mine eye and looked. And behold, a flying roll. Okay. Now this one wasn't disc shaped. This one was more like a cigar shaped chariot. Because there are cigar shaped chariots as well. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, a flying roll. And he measured the lengths and told what the lengths were. But here's the main point. It says, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off in this side, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as that side according to it. And I will bring it forth, saith Yahawashi, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. Okay, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So even though I said this is coming to deliver the children of Israel, yeah, it's also going to destroy Esau's kingdom. Because as you can see, it has a mouth over here. So when you read 2nd Ezra 13, when it says, and I saw out of his mouth he cast sparks and tempests, it's not talking about literal mouth. It's talking about the circle under the chariot shoots laser beams, yeah? That's what's coming to Esau, all right? It's no joke. Because a lot of times we make these videos and we go into these breakdowns and people laugh and they think it's a game, you know, until it actually happens. I'm going to try and get another preset, okay? Okay, yeah, Ezekiel 1:16. This is a good one. This preset will actually explain what is on the screen. So yeah, the Bible is real, man. For those of you that thought it was a fairy tale, your life is actually a fairy tale because you're deluded. The Bible is brilliant than it gets. This is Ezekiel chapter 1. I'm going to start from verse 13, man. It says, as for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire. Now, coal is black. Okay, so the angels are being described to be like burning coals. So the fact that coal is black and it was on fire shows you that the angels will be so-called black beings. They have color, okay? Coal is black and they're on flame because the Lord is a consuming fire. So if the angels that behold the presence of the Lord are not a consuming fire, then I don't know what else will. And if his son, who's sitting on his right hand side, is not like a burning coal of fire, then I don't know what else he is. That's why Revelations 1:13 says what? 1:14 says, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Why? Because he is sitting next to a consuming fire, which is the Most High. So he's going to look dark like he's burnt. Okay? Because if you're sitting next to a consuming fire, you are going to look burnt. So there's no way Yahawashi looks like raw meat, like they paint him in the pictures. This is a fantasy that Esau has created for himself. Because everything is just a game. It's a big game to them. It says, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. And that's how the chariots dart across the sky. Like lightning, okay? They just shoot, and then they're gone. Then they come back again to the same position they left. I've personally seen it happen many times. Verse 15, it says, now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl. Now beryl is green. So a green chariot. Because beryl is the most highest color. Green, okay? Green means what? Greenery is life, okay? Because the plants are green, and without the plants, there will be no oxygen and there will be no food, okay? So green is the most highest color. It says, and they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. That's the chariot over there. As you can see, it's like a wheel within a wheel. It's like 2 wheels in one. This is what Ezekiel was talking about. And this is what's going to deliver the children of Israel. Ain't no heathens going up in there, yeah? The heathens are petrified by this. Told you that in Wisdom of Solomon. They're going to be spooked out. They are already spooked out by this. So you Israelites in the Christian church, your rapture that you've been talking about, this is what's going to do the rapturing. Now, based off of what you're teaching in your church or what you're following, you ain't going to be part of this rapture. Because this, you don't even know what this is to begin with. So the fact that you don't even know what this is, you're not even going to be looking up. You understand? Because your pastor told you that Jesus is going to crack the sky and he's just going to come and hug you and take you on some, you know, some imaginary flying horses and you're going to go to heaven. Nah, it's not going to happen like that. This is what's coming for the Israelites, by the way, not the whole world. Because I know a lot of you think that the whole world is going to be saved. No. And the fact that your pastors can't even go into this, they don't even know what this is. They'll tell you it's an unidentified or is an aerial phenomenon or is a cloud formation. They have no scriptures to validate why this is happening. The Lord said he was going to show signs in the heavens. Why can't the pastors explain this? Because they don't have the answers. We have the answers. And I'm not saying it to be proud. It's facts. We have the answers. They don't. Okay? So let's get Psalms now. Right, so this is Psalms 104. Okay, that's the one. So this is Psalms 104 and 3. It says, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters. Okay, remember I told you there's a water above and a water below. That's why when you look in the sky, it looks like an ocean up there. And then you see the clouds forming. And then the chariots are in the midst of those clouds. Because they don't want you Edomites coming around taking pictures. So they trick you to make you think that is a cloud when it's actually a chariot. Who maketh the clouds his chariot. That's what you're seeing on the screen. Who maketh the clouds his chariot. So the chariots have a cloaking mechanism to make it look like a cloud. Okay, I'm gonna give you another example. Numbers. Remember when Miriam spoke against Moses? Remember what the Lord did? Let's get it. Right, so this is Numbers 12. This is when the Lord came down. Yahawashi, by the way, not the Most High, Yahweh. Because the Most High is or Chiami, or spokesperson, is Yahawashi. So this is Numbers chapter 12. It says, and Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman who he had married. Okay. Now if you jump down to verses 5, it says, and the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle. So there you go. That's the pillar of the cloud right there. You see, you can't get around it. This is the only explanation for this disc-shaped cloud. This is the same type of cloud that followed the Israelites out of Egypt into the wilderness. This is the same type of cloud that came to meet Moses on Mount Sinai. Sorry, on Mount Sinai, Salakia. Okay? This is the same type of cloud that's gonna come back and be shooting laser beams and burning these Edomites up, like we read in Zechariah. So this is what to expect, okay? Because this is salvation for the elect, destruction for 2/3 and the heathens. Because one thing you got to realize is that now that we've told you about the gospel, and since you've rejected it, you automatically are classified as a Gentile heathen. And according to the Bible, the Gentile heathen can't receive salvation. I don't know how they came up with the doctrine teaching salvation for all nations, because it says preach the gospel to all nations. People assume it was talking about the whole world, but it actually wasn't. It was talking about elect Israelites who are scattered amongst the other nations, and they look like the other nations. Okay, so this is Matthew 18 and verse 15. It says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between him and thee alone. If he will not hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 2 or 3, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And it shall be, if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, and in most cases, the churches are out on the highways and the byways telling you, and you're not listening. So this applies to you. Let him be unto thee as an heathen man and publican. So you instantly have been casted out as a heathen. So that means when you see these, don't be looking up to expect to get beamed up, because it's going to be shooting laser beams out and you're going to be turned into dust. Okay? Let me get that precept for you. Okay, so this is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 21. It says, then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, remember, those clouds, it says from the clouds, the right aiming thunderbolt. Because one thing you got to realize is these chariots don't only shoot laser beams. They shoot thunder, they shoot thunderbolts, they shoot, they can cause hurricanes, storms. They can do it all, man. You understand? And they can shoot fire as well. So they can shoot fire mixed with thunderbolts. How about that? That's a crazy combo, right? They can shoot hailstones as well. Anything they want to do, they can do it. There is no limitations to what the chariots can do. Okay? It says, as from a well-drawn bow shall they fly to the mark. And in most cases, you're going to be the mark. Because you've rejected this word, the Most High is going to mark you for destruction. So you're marked by the chariots to be destroyed. So when it comes, it's not going to miss. It's going to hit you. And you're going to turn into dust and smoke. Because if you read 2nd Esdras, it says nothing was to be perceived but dust and the smell of smoke. Alright? And this also shows you that us going into the moon cycle was not a fluke, and it was not clout chasing like Apostle Gabar said. The Lord was actually trying to warn you of what's coming. And also the Passover is coming up soon. And in order to keep the correct Passover, you have to know when the new moon crescent comes in order to even count the feast day. And because a lot of you were so proud, okay, you were caught up in your own little bubble of pride, you didn't hearken onto the breakdown. So now you've missed it. So now you're going to be keeping your Passover on the wrong day. And if the Most High chooses to visit you on the Passover, you're not going to be keeping the Passover on that day, because you wouldn't have known when the crescent came in for you to do the 14-day count. And you only have yourself to blame, because the breakdown was out there and many of you saw it, but you ignored it. And this is the problem with the nation of Israel: complacency, pride, and ignorance. Complacency, pride, and ignorance. These are the very reasons why you ended up in the lands you're scattered in today. Okay? Now, the reason why the Most High put the chariot on top of the moon is so that you could measure the time diligently and look up, because your salvation is drawing nigh. But that's all I got to say anyway. I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that the Most High is working in the body, and that whoever's been following the camp diligently, which I doubt a lot of brothers were sincere anyway, but those that are close by and are still learning, you should understand that the time is at hand. Okay? The Passover is on the 10th of March. For those of you that have been following the schedule, and the date is not going to change. It's on the 10th of March. Spring begins on the 26th. So if you count 14 days, it's going to fall on the 10th of March. Now, with that said, I rest my case. I'm going to give all praises to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bashim Rakakadash, Shalom, Ahab, Lavayashal, Davada. Double honors to the elders that are teaching the right doctrine in Israel, and salutation to the brothers that are pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.